Hello and welcome to the Honest Hour podcast, the show that encourages you to lead with curiosity and question everything. I'm your host, Janae, and each week we'll dive into topics that many shy away from. If any of this interests you, make sure to follow so you don't miss when I drop a new episode. So get comfy while we get curious. So today's episode, we are going to be talking about what I'd tell my younger self, and we're going to split this into three parts. The first part being the past, then the present, and then we're going to talk about the future. And if you stick around to the end, it'll it'll be good, I promise. So, before we jump into things, I definitely want to just say how grateful I am to be here today recording the last episode to season 1. I am not like I chose to do this in seasons because number one, it gives me more time to produce a lot more meaningful content if I have, time to prep and there's really a lot that goes into this behind the scenes. I thought it was as easy as just pressing the button, talking into a mic, and I completely forgot about the content creation aspect of it all. Not even forgot, I just didn't think of it. And that has always been something that I've struggled with because I'm very detail oriented and I will never put out something that I'm not completely proud of. And the thing is, with social media, you have to be consistent. And for me to produce at such like at that scale almost daily or multiple times a day, it's overwhelming. It's overwhelming because, you know, I have jobs. I have jobs. I'm seeing clients and I have a part-time job and, I might even get another job. Who knows, right? But just factoring into the pod, into my life, has definitely been interesting. But, you know, everything's a learning curve and I'm so grateful to have been on this journey with you all. And so the second reason as to why I chose to do seasons, I just simply don't like when it's like episode 354. Babes, what? I don't, that's a lot. Because what if I don't want to start at 354? And then I just get overwhelmed because there's so many episodes. I personally, I can't do it. I can't do it. So, just thinking of my brain and what works best for me, I wanted to do this in ways that is digestible for others. So hopefully you all, kind of like the it being split into seasons, and I have things in store for season 2 you that if you stick around to the end, you'll hear a little bit of what's to come. Okay, so let's get into today's topic. So, thinking of the past, little Janae, when I think of her, first I'll say it's challenging for me to recall the past, and that's scary for me. It's scary because at least this is how I think about it. Something so big must have happened for me to completely shut out all of those memories. Or I don't even know if there's an or. I really don't. But that's the way that my mind just kind of works. I'm like, what happened? So when I think about it in that sense, I'm like, I'm just like my baby girl. Like, what happened? I want to hug her so bad. And if I if there was a genie that came, I don't know, today, this probably doesn't make any sense. Like I'm probably supposed to say it a different way, but I don't even care. If there was a genie and the genie said you can go back in time and talk to the younger version of yourself, what would you say? I would say I would say I'm so freaking proud of the ways in which you never gave up. Because when things get hard, no matter where you are, how old you are, and you're going through things, experiencing life at its fullest, and it's really kicking you in the butt, like for you to still choose life and still choose connection and still choose love, wear it like a badge of honor, y'all. Wear it like a badge of honor because it is not easy. It is not easy to do that. And I would tell her that things do manifest. Like the dream you have for yourself will come true, but don't lose it. Don't let anyone tell you that it's too big. It's too much and that you are incapable of achieving that dream. I've had people tell me in my life, it was actually right before I moved into my very first apartment, you're so excited. You're sharing this with your friends and people that you trust and you'd assume that they'd be happy for you. And I was met with I was met with their own anxieties and insecurities about taking such a big step, right? So I had someone basically just put all of that onto me. And at the time, like, I know how to stack my bread when I'm getting it. Okay. So I'm stacking my bread. I'm doing what I need to do. I saved a couple thousand in a couple months because mama raised me well. She taught me money management. So I'm like, excuse me, Miss Girl, I know what I'm doing. Like, respectfully, stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. Just because you don't see it for yourself doesn't mean you need to bring me down. Okay. Because my thing is, it's one thing to, have really real conversations with your friends and, like be honest about things that can happen and at the same time celebrate them. Celebrate them for their small wins, their big wins, all of it. Like when my friends tell me things, I act like I'm the one going through it. I just won the lottery. If they won, I just won. Okay? That's how happy I get for my friends, and that's the energy I respect to receive. So, when you have people who don't see your dream and they shoot that down, it can be discouraging. It really can. But you have to hold on to that dream, hold on to it. If you can see it clearly for yourself, it does not need to make sense for anybody else. It does not need to make sense for them because it's not them. It's your life. This is your journey. When I think back to little old me, I actually one of my family members had showed me a video of myself when I was younger a couple months ago. And when I tell you all, like, I don't remember things, I'm looking at this video, like, literally, like, it was crazy watching myself just be so childlike and full of life and to know the journey I had to go through to get to where I am today. And I love that in this present time, we've we've tried to circle back to that. We've tried to implement versions of our past self, of our young self. I actually, when I was working with one client, we did a lot of inner child work, and it's very interesting as a therapist when you're working with clients, not that you go into, like, it's not the intention that this happens, but I think it almost happens naturally because you're going through this journey with someone and you're seeing their life change through what you're instilling into them. So you almost are reflecting it back into your own life. And it's natural. It's, very human of us to have shared experiences with what our client also experiences, right? They have maybe went through something that triggers similar emotions as another experience that we as therapists have been through. So again, as you're helping them through their healing journey, you're also healing yourself. It's quite beautiful, and I did not expect that to happen through this work. It wasn't something that was mentioned in grad school. But I've definitely processed this with my supervisor. I'm like, hold on, Miss Lauren. Shout out to Lauren. Okay, she's a real one because I would not have survived. I would not have survived without Lauren. She just my rock for real. I didn't even explain this. Lauren is my supervisor. She has been and she will continue to be. Sorry, Lauren, but you will. There's no getting rid of me. Okay. So I, processed this with her, and she just made it so natural. And she's like, yeah, that happened. And again, it's not the intention. I don't go into any of my sessions like, oh, I'm ready to be held through my client. No, 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 no. Hard no. Okay. But again, it naturally happens. So, anyways, the work that I was doing with this particular client, oh man, it was such rich work. It was such rich work because she had ideals that were so deeply rooted from her upbringing, specifically, her relationship with her mother and the ways in which we worked through that. And she was able to get to a place where she felt comfortable with establishing boundaries with with a parent, with an immigrant parent at that. And it just a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful story that unfolded right before my eyes. And just thinking about my own journey and, you know, how I've been impacting inner child work into my daily routine. For me, that's looked like, getting back into my creative side, not being so judgmental, appreciating where I am right here, right now. I literally have a tattoo. It says, I am where I am. And I got that to remind myself to stay present. Do we do it all the time? No. But, that, yeah, y'all already know. Okay. But what I do is I continue to come back and I remind myself that it's okay to not always have the right answer or make the right move because I don't want to put so much pressure on myself that, I can't make a mistake and I can't, do a very human like thing. I'm giving myself grace because I know that if I had a baby girl, if I had a little baby girl and she did something, I would say to her, honey, sweetheart, that is not what we do. Okay. I would show her the right way and I would say, but mommy still loves you. It's okay. I wouldn't criticize her. I wouldn't shame her. I would not want to make my child feel worse about the things she did, about herself, just over a mistake and my own insecurities coming up, like that's the way that I think about inner child work. If you had a child, a literal child, would you look at them and say you're not doing enough? Would you look at them and say you're not skinny enough? Would you look at them and say you're not pretty enough? I sure hope not. Okay, and that's inner child work, being able to look at yourself through your younger self eyes. I hope that made sense. And have grace and understanding and compassion for that part of you. Because let me tell you, that part of you exists yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Because I am all versions of me. I'm not just I'm not just Janae today, but I'm made up of all past versions of me. There's no way to erase the past. So, what can we do about that? We have to accept it, embrace it, welcome the past with open arms, and allow it to help you to move forward. And again, at no means am I, a perfectionist at doing this work because we all lose our way sometimes. But what's most important is that you continue to bring yourself back. You you ground yourself. You find people that you love and trust that will bring you back to yourself, that will bring you back home. If I could add one more thing to what I would share to little me, I would just remind her how loved she is, even if she may not always see it or feel it. But she has been and will always be loved because I love me. I love her. And it's so important to have that within and to find people who love you for you. You know, I have such a beautiful support system. Like this whole week, I've been saying to myself, God, I have such beautiful friends. Like, I love them so much. God has literally given me angels as friends. And if you're listening, you know who you are. And without them, oh, honey, without them, I don't know where I'd be. Because you have to remember that it's not just you. Sometimes you're not going to have the answer. Sometimes your anxiety is going to be too high to even get to a place of grounding. So then you lean on those supports and you trust that they have your best interest in mind. And I hope that you all have a support system, even if it's just one person with whom you trust and you know that they love you for you. And that brings me to my future, what I'd hope from my future self, my ideal self, which honestly, I kind of think I'm in my ideal self right now. But, anyways, when we say future self, let's say 5, 10, 15 years ahead of time. into the future ahead of time. That sounds whatever. Doesn't even matter. But thinking into the future, my eyes are closed right now, literally, because every time I think about my future self, I see her. Like, number one, she is such a baddie. Like, I can't get over her. Like, she's really that girl. She's the girl. She's the girl. Okay. And she just is so confident and so comfortable in her own skin. And she's full of love and light. And she encourages people and she pours into them. And she leans on her faith and she continues to bring in her inner child by staying connected to her people, connected to her creativity and her art, finding new art and creativity. She is the light and she is love. And she's gonna have hard days. Of course, we all will. And she's going to push through. She's going to sit down, process her emotions. She's going to journal because I'm going to continue that. That is not going to stop. She is every day. She's going to pour, when I say pour into others, she's also going to pour into herself because in order to pour into others, you gotta pour into yourself. You can't give with an empty cup. You can't. So Miss Girl is gonna be, ooh, like literally, I see her. She's snatched. She's eating good, real healthy. She's eating the fruits and the vegetables. Like, she's living her best life. Okay, she is booked and busy. Okay, and she's doing what she loves. She, she's so passionate. I'm so passionate. Like, I'm just passionate in general, but I'm passionate about helping people. And I've always been. My mama told me this story. She actually tells me, you know how parents, they be bringing up the same story over and over. So this I have not forgot, okay? And I might just be creating this like an actual visual memory in my head because as I tell the story, like I see it already now playing out. But my mom says, again, if you listen to the Mother's Day episode, Miss Karen, she's a prayer warrior. So she would pray with her friends. And she said that I would be in the middle of the circle passing around tissues because I want to make sure everybody's okay. I'm making sure everybody's taken care of. Okay? So even at a young age, I still I had that burning desire to utilize whatever is inside of me to help the person next to me. And that I truly hope that never goes away because I think that is the one of the main things that is the most important for our world right now. Not even just right now, but it is so important to be mindful of your community, of those around you. Like I know we talk about main character energy and period poo, like yes, be the main character and also be supportive and encouraging and uplifting to those around you because everyone is their own main character. So don't think it's just you. You could be your own main character. That's fine. I'm just saying. Make just have a kind heart is what I'm saying. Okay? Okay. Listen, these little gems will continue to drop the little gems, right? Mm. So, yeah, that's my past, my present, and my future. I'm again just so grateful. Like The words escape me, but just know that if you've listened to one of the episodes or halfway of an episode, okay? If you've just given me your time, do you know how important it is to give someone your time? And if you've done that for me a million times, thank you. Thank you so much. And I'm going to continue to show up for y'all. I'm going to continue to show up for me, okay? And season two, I told y'all if y'all stuck around, I told y'all if y'all stuck around, it was going to be something good, okay? Season two is going to be so good. It's going to be so good. Like, I had the privilege of having a guest on in this season. Carla, shout out to Carla being my first ever guest. What a beautiful, beautiful conversation. If you have not listened, oh, that is such a good episode. It is my second most listened to episode. And I'm so happy. I'm so happy that that story was heard by people because I can't even tell y'all. Y'all need to go listen. If you don't know, you need to know, okay? And if you do, you do, all right? But season two, y'all gonna get a lot more guests, okay? Like I already have things booked for season two. And if you all enjoyed season one, and if you enjoyed the episode that I did, Forgiveness Part Two with Carla, oh man, part part two, season two episodes are really gonna blow your mind because I want to push past some things and some ideals, and I want to, talk about things that are trending really. So this is where I'm really gonna need you all to tell me what you want to hear. All right, I'm here for y'all, for the people. Okay, so if you have any interest in sharing your own personal story, and I there's so many beautiful things I want to start, okay? I can't give it all to y'all, but just know that you can reach out to me in any capacity. You can reach out to me if you have an idea, and let's collaborate because season two is going to be one for the books, and I'm not giving up on this, okay? This is not the podcast that's just going to drop, all right? We're in. We're literally in. And I will give you all a special little treat. If you were still here, I have the opportunity to also be a guest on someone else's podcast. And I know you guys are going to enjoy that as well because mm, 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 mm. that episode, the topic, the topics that are to come, y'all, yeah, y'all need to stay locked in. So, my beautiful people, my beautiful, beautiful audience, thank you again. I will never stop saying thank you. Here's to the season finale, and I'm so, so blessed to have been given this opportunity to have this platform. So, thank you for such a beautiful season, and I can't wait for you all to hear season two. If you're hearing this, that means you've listened to the entire episode. And for that, I want to thank you. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with your friends or leave a review wherever you're listening. To stay updated with the Honest Hour podcast, you can follow me on Instagram at The Honesty Pod. And if there are specific topics you want me to cover in future episodes, please let me know. Thank you again, and I hope to see you back here next week.